Welcome to Us Watching Us. This is a series of live streams that become videos on YouTube where we are watching videos of ourselves from 2010 at this point, and we are at the very tail end in entering the last country that we went on a trip around the world. And we're going to be getting into that in a few minutes here. But beforehand, I think I'm going to show a map and maybe go through that one more time. We're going to be watching the stuff tonight. And then and then there will be next week we'll be actually finishing the international portion of everything we've been watching here on Us Watching Us. We're going to split Israel and the West Bank into two different nights because of the length of the video. I didn't want to make everything too ridiculously long. Maybe I'll wait and do like a final this is where we went everywhere until next week, because that would be the last one. And for the time being, we will fire up a map just to get a grip on where we're going to be looking. And the last week we were watching Us in the country of Jordan, and we had made our way up to Amman. So Amman is the capital of Jordan, and this is where we were watching last week was all of Amman, and we will tonight be watching a transit from Amman into Jerusalem. I'm not sure how much we film of the actual transit, but then we've got some videos about spending time, the first amount of time that we were in Jerusalem. I remember we did mention this in the videos last week. Amman, we were going to go one day, like on a Saturday, and then somebody in the morning was like, "You can't go, the border is closed."
It was a Friday, and they closed at 12, and we had slept in.
So anyway, we did make it. I think the next day is how we went, but that's just kind of like how we were traveling. It's just like we didn't really plan ahead on anything or whatever. So that just was kind of on brand. What's up, Rebel? And if you guys are reading chat is talking about meatballs. I missed something, but that's okay.
It was Mexican meatballs.
Sometimes I wonder if people who watch the YouTube are like watching the chat and they're like, "What is happening?" Because it comes out of nowhere. Let me get into the first episode. And yeah, this is definitely a... Did you get a bonk, Katie?
Mm-hmm.
Did chat get a bonk? Usually if we get a bonk, you get a bonk. Sweet. All right, so again, we're going to be entering Israel and Jerusalem. We had an incredibly hectic day going from Amman in Jordan across the West Bank and into Jerusalem. Enjoy Katie's rant. All right, so we're in Jerusalem and Katie's going to tell you about our day.
It's been kind of that kind of day.
First off, we're standing outside the Damascus gate right now. It's so badass.
It's unreal.
It's so like unbelievable that exists. It's like the old city of Jerusalem was behind Katie.
So don't mind my attitude and my mood. We're sitting in front of the old city of Jerusalem, so it can't be that bad. We've managed to get here and we've managed to make everything work out, but I'll give you the story of how things happened today. So,
how much do you remember about this?
None.
I remember one major event.
I don't.
Okay.
We left our hostel with some Germans that we had met the day before when we were basically told we couldn't go to the border, that it would be closed. So us and the Germans, we get into a taxi, and the taxi takes us from our hotel to the border crossing for Jordan, and that probably happened around like 9 o'clock. So it took about an hour and a half to get there. From 9 o'clock till around 10. Still at the border crossing. They'd already taken our passports, they'd taken our departure tax money, they'd done everything. They were just waiting for enough people to fill up a shuttle bus, and it took forever. And then from there we got on the bus, and they made us pay per bag 4 1/4 JD just to carry our bags underneath the bus to the next border checkpoint, which was like 2 kilometers down the road. So essentially that's like $7 for them to hold our stuff underneath the bus, which is already gonna go because we're in it. So that was a little annoying. And when we get to the other side, we're expecting kind of Israeli border crossing to get better, like that they're a little more modernized than Jordan. We were completely and utterly wrong. I'm not sure exactly what time we got there, but it took us from one border to the other border about a half an hour. It's 2 kilometers. Keep that in mind. So we got there, and you have to stand in this big line with all of your bags. And then you get to, it kind of goes in a Z formation. So when you get to the first crook of the Z, they want you to give them your bags. So you hand over your bags, and they take your passport. So your bags and your passport go in 2 different directions. You're just standing there. Your passport goes somewhere you have no idea where it went. It comes back with a bunch.
Which is always hella sketch. Like what happens if it doesn't come back?
Leave my view.
Stickers on it, and you're expected to just leave your bag there because it's going to go through inspections without you. So then at the next crook of the Z, they check out your passport, ask you a few questions, and don't really do anything with it. They just mark off a piece of paper, which we don't know what that was. You go into another building and you walk through a metal detector, and then you walk up to another window. And I guess I should say that in the Z, it's just a crowd of people. There's no order whatsoever. The Z is just a mess of, it's like China, but just more annoying than China because people should know that we don't have to do this anymore. Anyways, so we get up to the window where they start asking you questions about your visit in Israel and what you plan on doing and where you're going to be staying, and that actually went a lot better than I ever expected. I really thought that they were going to grill us because we're American. Same old questions for everybody, no problems, maybe 3 minutes in front of the booth, and then we were on our way. So then we got to find out the mess that is where your bags come after they inspect them, and they just throw them all over the floor. There's a little bit of order, but it's still just like, are you serious? So that our bags were all over the floor. Eric finds his bag. My bag is nowhere to be found. But we talked to these 2 Korean people who also haven't found their bags. And it turns out that they held my bag for some sort of reason. But instead of finding me, I have to go find them. And that was annoying because we just waited around to see if it would come out of the machine. And so we went and got my bag, and they wanted to go through my bag, and they took like a stick with a little piece of paper on the end of it and just went all over my bag with it. And then they went inside my bag with it, and then the lady just told me, okay, you're good. I'm not really sure what that technique for finding stuff was, but...
Was it like a thing to like test for drugs or weapons or something like that, maybe?
It could be residue of some sort, and I guess that could be like bullet residue or... explosives residue or drug residue.
I wonder if the reason that they split everything up is because they don't want to be targeting bag searches based on who is carrying the bag.
But they could have made that assessment. Somebody can be watching on a camera going, gonna fuck that person, gonna fuck that person. Like that I just think they took it to another room so that they could treat it in whatever way they wanted to without you hawking over
the whole thing is this like...
It separates your control.
For some reason, I think we also had an expectation that we were going to be going... And for some reason, I thought you'd go into Israel and things would be more orderly and more like... less chaos. But we were totally... Israel was chaos when we were there. Like
what was the thing that you remembered?
You lost my wallet.
Oh, but that was not here.
Yeah, it was.
It was there?
Yeah. Just wait, here it comes. You got lost in that chaos.
Okay, so they gave me back my bag. Us and the Koreans go outside. We realize we don't have enough money to get into the city because there is no bank and we only have minimal money to exchange. So we borrow some money from the Koreans, who we later pay, and we all get on a shuttle bus, and that heads into Jerusalem. We get to Jerusalem at 1:35. Keep in mind, that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. That's 6 hours after we left that morning. And I mean, we went to the distance of maybe, how many kilometers? 80 kilometers.
Maybe.
80 kilometers. And we landed on a corner over here. So we start walking, and...
I remember sitting in Jordan, like just sitting in this room for hours, just waiting for like them to load up a van or something.
I don't remember that at all.
We know that we have to find an ATM, so we get about 3 blocks away from where the bus was, and we realize we don't have our wallet anymore. And this is where the day takes a somber spin. We still don't have our wallet, but we went to the
Pause. This is an interesting moment to explain. This whole time that you've been watching us, we've only had one wallet. Like, it's either been between you holding it most of the time because you are responsible, and me being entrusted with it temporarily at times and succeeding in not losing it until now. But all of our wallet stuff was in one wallet.
Yeah, well, yes-ish. You would carry you carried an extra credit card that could work with our bank account and some
I think
cash.
that was just hidden somewhere. It wasn't something I carried on me every day.
You did. You carried it in your hip sack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you always had it on you. Otherwise, we would have been really fucked.
Yeah, because our bag getting stolen could be pretty... likely is not the word I'm looking for, but...
I think I also carried something in my hip sack, maybe another credit card or something like that. I don't remember.
Around the house ain't a problem. At security check in Jerusalem, big problem.
Area in this area for the shuttle that we took, and the guy let us, he called and asked them if they had found our wallet. They hadn't found it. He actually let us use his wireless internet to call our credit card company to cancel our credit card, and
he was nice.
Just do all the things.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Canceled our credit card, and we authorized our new credit card. So that was pretty cool. We were able to get ATM money out of the ATM within an hour of realizing that we had lost our wallet. So that went really well. And what does this mean?
Perfume.
Perfume?
The thing that flew in the window.
Oh, while we were there, somebody threw a perfume bottle into the building that we were sitting in. Scared the crap out of me.
Like, violently.
That could have been,
it was like an attack.
Worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe, what if the perfume bottle was actually
explosive or something?
I don't know if they were attacking us or they were attacking the people that owned the building, but it was a really weird moment. So I don't know why an attack happened, but it was really strange. So we managed to get money out of the ATM, we found a place to stay, and we wandered around Jerusalem, and now we're standing out here looking for some cheap fruit. We have realized that prices here suck. Things are expensive, more expensive than I think I ever imagined they would be for Jerusalem. So here's hoping we can find a...
Your tone is weird. Why did you have any expectation about what it was going to cost in Jerusalem? Like you had some sort of
I really thought this was going to be gutter and it would be very inexpensive.
And hopefully somebody finds our wallet.
Nobody ever found our wallet. I'm sure somebody found the wallet, but nobody ever
I don't know if
back.
I'll talk about it, so I'll talk about it now. I called every day. I called every single day to ask someone, and they never found it. And I don't know why, but part of me feels like I went back there and checked for it. And
that would have been really complicated.
And I don't think I did, but I think I thought about it so fucking
so you have to
much.
go through all these checkpoints to get back into the West Bank and shit.
Yeah, I thought about it so much. I felt terrible. This is like when you think about the things that you regret or feel bad about in your life, this one really has stuck.
Let it go.
Yeah.
The only thing in there that was unique at all, I mean, there might have been, we probably didn't have
your
much
Hong Kong
money.
license.
My Hong Kong driver's
Your fucking
license.
Hong Kong license was too cool. And we spent like a whole day getting that done.
It's okay.
So this is a shawarma sandwich that I just ordered, and it has got everything you could possibly ever imagine in it.
French fries.
Basically every Middle Eastern ingredient and slapped it into a pita. And we're going to get in there, and it should be good. Is it good? All right.
And we're going to get in this.
Okay, so Jerusalem. We're in Jerusalem, and that sign says to Bethlehem, and that's kind of surreal to see.
There's this, even though I didn't grow up religious or anything like that, there's still like these words that you see that are just like, are you kidding? Like this is a real place. You know what I mean? That's what the whole experience of being here was like over and over and over. You just seeing things that are like from like stories or something when you were growing up. But no, it's actually like a real place. Wild.
And this is the Damascus Gate. And we have got probably 4 or 5 days worth of stuff to do here. It's incredible how much there is to do. I mean, obviously. I mean, there's Muslim stuff, Jewish stuff, Christian stuff, and then just, normal exploring city stuff. So it's really, really insane when you look at like the list of things that there are. So this Damascus Gate is the entrance to the old city of Jerusalem. And it's crazy in there. We actually have our hotel in there.
It's called the Damascus Gate because if you walk out of that gate and keep walking, you go to Syria. Like it's the northern gate of the city.
So we had to go in there last night and wander around with our bags on. It's like very, very narrow areas to walk, and it's just madness. And a lot of touristy stuff is in there, but a lot of like stuff that locals have that are in there. There's like a million candy shops. There's just like, you know, knick-knack shops and places to eat, and I mean it's really insane. So we wandered around a little bit yesterday and didn't do a whole lot, but we just explored the area, found a place to stay, got some food, etc., etc. And it's Sunday, so we're gonna start off in the Christian quarter. The city is the old city is broken into 4 pieces: the Christian quarter, the Muslim quarter, the Jewish quarter, and the Armenian quarter. So I don't know what the difference between the Armenian quarter and the Christian quarter is, because I thought Armenians were Christian, but I don't know. We'll check it out. And each quarter is like distinctly different looking and feeling, and I actually noticed that last night walking around. Like the Jewish section was kind of completely flat.
Oh shit, I just remembered some.
So recently.
That wall that they all go to?
You know, the Western Wall?
Yeah. That hit me, and that, not that I didn't know what it was before, but it was definitely something to behold and kind of experience. And I just remembered it.
We walked over there quite a bit. Because we did different times of day. It had different vibes. It was
it's
very
like
cool.
That was somewhere in the like the accesses of my brain that now it just popped right in there before seeing it.
So it's a lot more modern and
the Wailing Wall.
Quite as hectic.
Yeah, I think that the Western Wall is a more politically appropriate term.
Is it?
I'm really not sure, but I think it's
okay.
called. That's the name that I have in my head is Western Wall. But it's like it's a wall. It's the only remaining wall of the temple that used to be there.
And apparently the Muslim quarter is insane, but we really didn't touch that yet, so we'll check that out another time. But okay, on to the Christian quarter. Let's see what we find. So this is kind of the main little drag that goes through the old city, and you can see like there's these fruit dealers, and this guy's got like a food shop, and these people are selling touristy stuff like bags, and then there's a little market over there, and everything is really overpriced in here from what we can tell. But I'm sure we just get a different price because of our nationality than you would get if you were actually speaking Arabic or Hebrew. And I mean, some of it is useful, some of it is just garbage. But yeah, I mean, this is like get really, really crazy at night. And last night, while we were walking up this, there was a bunch of people, and they were carrying like a life-size cross, and like a huge thing, like something you would really crucify a person on. And they had a huge group of people, and they were playing guitar and like singing like hymns or something. I don't know. It's a lot of people. And as we're going up, and all of a sudden, coming the other direction, a tractor. Like, get out of the way, and like all these old ladies and hit a woman in a wheelchair and had to get out of the way and stuff. It was really strange. So the candy shops, they're just like everywhere.
Did you eat that gummy in celebration of Jerusalem?
I didn't do that on purpose, but yeah.
But it seemed appropriate.
All the candy shops, really strange.
And boy had lots of candy, man.
Yeah, so the thing that's going on, I don't remember what the name of it is, but there's like a specific path that apparently is the path that they took when they crucified Jesus. And like people bring a full-size cross and carry it through the same path that he did to go to the like where the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is. So yeah, it's just like you'll see that, but like there's so many people sometimes. Like it's like I'm being in a mosh pit walking through the city. It's craziness.
How much gummy is in old Jerusalem? I have no idea. I never would have guessed this, but if you look across here, there's another guy. Sell it. Big bags of gummy as well.
It's prepackaged.
Strange. So speaking of like tacky things to buy, look at all this crosses and like just stupid knickknacks and stuff. We're obviously in the Christian quarter now. So if you ever needed your obscenely tacky Christian knickknacks, I know a place.
Jesus memorabilia.
Okay, so we're
to be honest with you, like we're probably going to come off slightly crude in some of these videos. Like I've kind of been like, yeah, when we get to these, I think the way that I talk about some of this is probably going to come off not that well, but like, I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm just trying to explain. Like, I'm talking just to like close friends and stuff when I'm speaking in these videos. I'm not like talking to like an audience. Does that make sense? I probably would choose to speak differently sometimes now. Maybe I'd be more careful. I don't know. It's interesting to look back on stuff like this and be like, I'm not like embarrassed by it or anything. It's just what I would talk about if I was talking to her. But yeah, it might just come off less tactful than I would maybe be now.
We're at is pretty important to some people, so let's take a look. As you can see, once again, all these knickknacks and stuff, and you go through this little entryway, and this is what you get. And let's go over here, and Katie can tell you what it's called.
I forgot it. It's the Church of Holy Sepulchre.
Or the Church of the Resurrection. Basically, what this is apparently this is the site where Jesus was crucified, entombed, and then resurrected. And a lot of people believe it. Some people believe it was elsewhere, but this is the common place. And
yeah, this guy was like the story, like everybody has got a different story about where he was crucified. This is like the main one, but like I remember seeing signs like, no, he was over here or it was over there, and like maps that showed, no, it's on the outside of the walls, and like it was like all over the place.
They built like churches on and off.
Yeah, he was in Jesus. He was in Japan. He died in Japan.
Yeah, I've been there.
2,000 years or so, and they've been destroyed and gone under Muslim rule and gone under Jewish rule and Christian rule and just handed back and forth and this and that, and it's been rebuilt and yada yada yada, long story. And now it's kind of separated up between a bunch of different Christian sects, and they each like have sectite areas that they can use, and the common areas are like used by them at different times, and there's like all these rules and stuff. It's really weird. But apparently the keys to the door are owned by a Muslim family and have been for like 1,500 years. And they get handed down through this family, and every day somebody comes from the family, unlocks the doors, and then at the end of the day they come and they close them and lock them. And the reason is to keep the warring factions of Christians from like destroying the place or like, uprisings and stuff. They basically have a neutral party that is in control of unlocking the door. It's really immature, but hey, that's how it is. Something that's actually kind of interesting and something that Will had told us to take a look at was up here, this ladder that's been there since 1852, and somebody stuck it there, and basically it's just that's a common area. So it's just odd to see it, and you can see it in really old photographs and stuff. So it's cool to see it still there.
Pauses. He says, look at imagine how much money people have made off of Jesus stuff. Dude, they don't even need stuff. They don't need stuff.
They don't need stuff. Yeah, so I didn't explain that well. I'm sure a lot of people know about this ladder thing now because it's like on the internet a lot. It comes up, and like I see it on Reddit every once in a while. But like the story basically is that somebody stuck the ladder out there, and the groups of Christians that like administer the church can't they can't decide to remove the ladder, so therefore it just sits there forever. But there's actually been times where like somebody went up in that building and took it, like they drug it inside, like some random dude, like not affiliated with any of the churches.
When was that?
Huh?
When was that?
I don't know, maybe sometime in the last 30 years or something like that. There's pictures of it not up. There's pictures of that ladder not there, like with cameras. But anyway, it's just like it's like crazy.
The Via della Rosa, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Did they say it out loud?
Oh, did you say it? Oh, I thought you read it.
I've been over here, like, if you watched me for the last, like, 10 minutes, I've just been over here. You can tell I'm intensely thinking about something. The Via della Rosa. Yes.
Yeah, it's just like a randomly placed ladder, but it's been there since, like, the 1800s or something. You can look at, it's like, if you look up the Church of the Holy Sepulchre on Wikipedia, there's probably a whole section about the ladder. But it spawns out of something else. Something else happened. Like, it's more than just, like, it's more complicated than just, like, the story that gets told, like, when you actually read into it a little more. There's more to it.
And hope it never falls, because, it's just kind of neat, but I guess eventually it'll break down and disintegrate, but who knows about that.
I think it has been replaced as well. Like somebody's rebuilt it and put a new one out.
But you can see, this is super, super touristy.
Yeah.
We visit that mosque. I don't know the names of the mosques.
Yeah, we did. That's the Dome of the Rock mosque.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did one there. I don't know if it'll be in this episode or the next one or next week. I'm not sure.
And there's a lot of people that are coming through, and like some people came through with a cross, because like a lot of people will carry crosses through Jerusalem, the old city, and then come out here because Jesus had to carry his cross here, etc. And they're just kind of reenacting that, I guess. And there's a lot of people that are like legitimately here for Christian purposes. There's a lot of people that are like here for just tourists like us. But it's a neat place to be. It's probably, I guess, the most holy place in the world for Christians.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that, because I don't know at all. But I mean, it's fairly. If that says where the man is, like you'd say that's really pretty important.
I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but
it is. This is one of my most interesting memories. This is fucking crazy what this experience. Like you would never think, oh, going to a church is going to be one of the craziest fucking things you ever see. But this was one of the craziest fucking things I've ever seen. Thank you for the sub.
Bigfoot hustles.
loud and entertaining.
Do you remember what the anointing stone smelled like?
Do I remember what it smelled like?
I think anointment or anointing stone. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the thing people were kissing.
Yeah, but not inside the thing.
No, I don't remember.
It was like when you first went in the doors.
No doubt, I told what I thought it smelled like.
Let's see what.
Yeah,
I remember what you said.
Smelling and telling. Yeah, smelling and telling. That's something I do.
It said that the anointment of Jesus happened, and it's very significant to Christians, and they are putting their heads and hands on this rock, and that one's got to be Korean.
I'm actually looking to the one to the right now, thinking that one's got to be Japanese because they put the towel down.
Oh, but the Korean lady because of the visor. That's why you the
Korean lady
comment.
because of the visor. But when I saw that towel go down, it just immediate to me thought, oh, I wonder if that's a Japanese Christian.
Sorry. But the rock actually smells like incense. I'm not really sure what they're putting on it, but it smells really good. We've touched it, and
it smells like some sort of candy, like Smarties or something. It smells like
Smarties.
Yeah, I think they put Smarties on there.
Jesus loved Smarties. From what we've read, the Holy Sepulchre is a conglomeration of many churches that are inside the one building, and the main and actual Holy Sepulchre is right in front of us. And
so that's the actual thing.
That looks like where horror movies go to get made.
Yeah, that is the tomb of Jesus Christ according to lore here. And then they built this church around it that then has 4 pieces attached to it that are administered by different groups of people or whatever. So I'll just let it play because I think it's going to be better.
This is where a certain sect of Christians, do you know which sect, believe that Jesus was buried right in this building. So perhaps he was, perhaps he wasn't. We're going to go in and probably not find out.
So this whole experience in here is just really a huge cluster. Just people are pushing each other, and
everything's noisy.
Obviously the people that work here are kind of annoyed and they're yelling at people a lot. You can see a bunch of people now are going inside this thing. So I guess you can go inside, but you probably got to have a VIP or something like that. You got to be down with the God.
We got to go in. You just got to mosh your way through the line.
Dude,
that's
just
all.
look like you know what you're doing.
But
walk with purpose.
It's really not at all tranquil in here. It's just almost irritating. My blood pressure is up pretty high right now.
Well, I walked by.
Okay, so watching this a little bit more, apparently you don't have to have anything special to get in. You just have to be willing to push a bunch of old ladies over. What's going on? People are this giant crowd of people. The entrance is here. and there's people just like literally pushing each other out of the way to get inside, and then they close it and let the people out, and then another group of people pushes their way in. Oh boy. Okay, so we've decided we're going to try to go in, and it is madness. Like, they are like pushing, and the security guards are insane, pushing each other around, and I mean, it's just complete mess. It's I feel a bit like I'm back in China, I guess. Okay, here we go. It's moving now. This is by far the calmest it's been. Nobody is screaming at anything.
No push, slowly. No push.
It is astonishing how badly they've done this. Like, they're acting like, the guards are acting like all the people are stupid, and like, we told you to stop, not to come up on these steps, and there's just nothing like laid out. There's no like, you stop here and wait and then go in. Like, they need to set up some barriers and like, not just, I mean, they're leaning into people and pushing them downstairs.
Watch the lady with the fire on the left.
Oh.
I mean, how am I supposed
I'm telling you about that.
This lady is basically in my pocket. So it's just astonishing. Like, it's like they act like this has never happened. You know, this happens every single day, and like they're mad and like yelling at people like they're either adrenaline is high. It's really ridiculous. Like, put up a barrier. It wouldn't be that hard to make this easy. And the people back here are lighting some sort of fire and doing something with it. Who knows?
I think it gets worse. Like, somebody can't reach the thing.
Yeah.
Pause. I would not be shocked if one day we hear that whole thing burns down. Well,
it's all made of made of rock. I wouldn't be surprised if we heard there's a crushing incident and a bunch of people get killed. A crushing incident,
or that a fire engulfs them and they can't get out.
Yeah.
Like, I actually felt a little bit of that panic when a fire was happening over there, and just thinking about how just uncoordinated everything was, and you might lose your life here.
I wonder if it's still like that. I mean, it's just like, put up some of those things at the bank and make a line.
Yeah.
Like,
it's really easy. Like, just do it around the thing. Make a snake. Yeah. You know, over at the border, they're rocking the Z. You might be able to learn from them. They suck, but they're better than you.
It just seems like such a crazy security risk and just dangerous. And it was bananas.
And the chance for ignited tensions to arise. And
the guards were like screaming in people's faces sometimes too.
There goes Katie. She's going in there to chill with the man.
And I'm just like sucked in on the fire because I'm watching this one lady that can't reach.
Fire over here, like almost light each other up.
Yeah, some lady like watch her.
She can't reach it, and it's so close to people's heads.
Yeah, and like it's like not just like a single.
Yeah,
candle.
they take a bundle of candles
them to make a giant fireball.
And what I saw in this time that we're watching it that I didn't see before is that they would snuff out one group of candles, relight it, snuff out the one, and then again and again and again. And this lady can't reach to where she's trying to get, and her flame is just so close to people's heads. They put that shit in a corner. Just...
And you know what was like striking about it? There was no regard for other human beings in the room from anybody.
It's me and my time and the thing that I came here to do with my fire.
Yeah, it was an extremely fuck you. This is me. And not just the fire, but all the people pushing and everything. And I mean, it was just bananas.
One of the weird things I experienced was one of the gardens claiming to be the last resting place was on a tour from my ship. Another tour group, obviously Americans, was there. A man turned around and asked one of us if we were military, reasonable enough. Several dozen young men with short hair, all of us turned to me.
Oh, weird.
Others weighed my opinion, options, and acknowledged we were. Wow.
Yeah, it was just, this whole thing was just like, we weren't ready for it, I guess, because we were like, we're going to a church. When you go into church, it's like everybody be quiet and sit down and have a moment of peace.
Yeah, I think I remember going into this little hole going, it might all be burnt down when I get back out. or it's, I'm gonna die in this little tomb.
Because I don't. They were only
maybe that's what happened to Jesus.
They were only letting like maybe you were in groups of like 5 or 6 or something like that.
It was a very small.
It was very small. It's very small.
Single
inside.
digit for sure.
And it's apparently like Jesus' tomb, like literally.
Like you see that? Look what's going on here. Look at this. You see the lady cowering underneath the lady with a giant set of fire? She's literally climbing over her, this other lady. Like literally climbed over her to stuff it up in that thing.
And I think what you have is a whole bunch of people that have traveled here for religious purposes, and they're like, I went all the way around the world. And they feel possessive of it because they put so much work to get there.
They put so much weight on the effort that they've made. They've never traveled abroad anywhere else, and now is the time that they're doing that, and it's for such a strong purpose and such like a innate or internalized purpose that it has so much.
But everybody in the room has got the same thing, so it all clashes. I love that I'm narrating this so blanketly, like in the room, but I was like the least offensive thing in the room.
You know, a lot of people look at like Buddhism and stuff and see what we saw in Varanasi and think that's insane. This is way, way crazy.
I know that's not Buddhist in Varanasi, but I was just saying like different religions.
Okay, so I got some footage in there of Jesus' tomb, and the covert Jesus camera is in effect.
Please, inside, go inside. Go inside. The first one, must be go. No, hey, okay, go.
Everybody was putting their head down, and I wondered if it smelled like Smarties the same way the Anointing Stone did. But I guess they were just kissing it because it just smelled like saliva.
Covert Jesus cam.
Finish, please. Outside. Finish.
There you go. That's what Jesus' tomb looks like.
Pause. And you know, in that moment when I'm really like meeting the ending place of my maker or that dude or whatever that I really like, I just want to listen to some man tell me, get in, get out, get out, get out.
I mean, if you have an area that small and that many people that want to see it, how do you manage it? Sell tickets? Then people who don't have a lot of income can't go? Like, what's the situation? A lottery?
A lottery.
Like, it's got to be like the Ghibli tickets. Like, you got to go to Lawson and deal with some kind of crazy ass system that doesn't work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what?
Just setting up some lines.
Just setting up some lines
enough.
would probably help. But yeah, it's still a difficult situation. Thank you for the follow. Thanks for hanging out. Numbered tickets, no fee. Yeah, but then you got to make sure that those tickets are accessible. How do you do that? Like, you got to make them accessible on the internet. Maybe they are now. Maybe it's different. This was a long time ago.
So this complex is pretty big, and it's definitely, like, the style changes when you go from one area that's ruled by one Christian sect to another area that's ruled by a different one. So it makes it seem like just like a big conglomeration of like a million different things. It's just like a smorgasbord of Christianity. And I'm going to check out what's down here. It's kind of a cool looking hallway.
Once you get away from the area around Jesus' tomb, it was much more like what you're seeing now. Like, it's not like that in the entire building. It's just that one area was really cramped. I remember we went up above something and we were able to see over some area, and we kind of were by ourselves a little bit.
For sure. Okay, so what I can decipher from Wikipedia is that the room that we are in...
Maybe the reason that there's no bank barrier set up is because the groups that run the church can't decide what to do.
Maybe they therefore they're agree. Just arguing and they do nothing.
Does the Church of the Holy Sepulchre have a website? Because who would decide how to set that up?
Wireless buzzers.
Yeah, but maybe they can't take down the ladder because they can't decide on how to do it. Maybe that's the reason this is still chaos.
Right now in this dome, sit directly over what was once believed biblically to be the center of the world. But turns out the world isn't flat, the world is round, so the center of the world is not here. But it's still kind of an interesting room to be in, and they mark it because it's near to the where the crucifixion of Jesus was done. So maybe somebody else thinks that this is where he was crucified. I don't know. Who knows? Thanks to some more Wikipedia research, we're going up to where I believe they think Jesus was actually crucified, like the commonly believed place. And yeah, this looks like it. They said it was very lavishly decorated. That's definitely what we're looking at.
Wow.
So he was crucified on the second floor? I don't understand. Maybe this is directly above the thing that was considered center of the world. That's probably what it is. That makes geographical sense. So, I mean, wow, look at that. That's pretty insane. And apparently Adam of Adam and Eve, his skull is directly below this. But I mean, again, you know, stories and whatnot, so who knows. But there's people under there. Like you can get in line. And I don't know what he's doing. He's putting his arm into something. I think I'll skip that. That's a bit personal. Okay, so it seems like what's going on is that this looks like maybe you could have this rock down here that's there was where the cross was supposedly put. So maybe it's possible. But yeah,
is that a hair pick? Or like one of those things for when you do drywall?
Just the scraper?
The scraper thing?
I don't know.
The guy up here that runs things is really rude and mean. He's pushing people and screaming at them and stuff. It seems to me they might not like Indian people. They're especially mean to Indian people. It's really weird. He's yelling no photo, but you know, here I am photoing. Whatever, screw that guy. They are like, people are just stuffing money in that. It's got to have thousands of dollars in it with the rate money people have been stuffing in it while I sat here. So pretty profitable business here, but you think they could hire somebody with a little less of a dick. Okay, so like, holy crap. That was just madness. It's just like, it's like being in a blender or something and just being tossed out. It's just really a lot of immature people doing really things that don't make a lot of sense, and just
it's the fast food of the Christian epicenter. That's what it is. Each thing that you're supposed to go through and be astonished with looking at, they're yelling at you the entire time. Like, stay here, go there, wait, go back, finish, hurry up, come on. Like, every single time that you want to do something that, if you're Christian, I mean, like, you want to be here and feel here, and it's just aggressive. The whole thing is aggressive.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a lot of respect for a lot of people in there, from the patrons or especially from the staff, the people that actually work there. And they seem like they have definitely got a dislike for anybody from the Indian subcontinent. Like, they are borderline racist with them, which was kind of strange to see. But I mean, guess that's what it is. Stuff my box full of money and get out of my way.
Yep.
I can't believe I didn't talk about this, but at one point when we were going in, I think when we were going into the tomb, one of the guys was up in people's faces yelling, "You Indian, get back!
Get back,
He
Indian!
said, you Indian, you Indian, get back!" I can't believe I didn't I mentioned that.
Yeah, so this is definitely the Disneyland of religions. Like, I mean, it's like a million tour groups, and I mean, it takes a lot of patience to deal with this type of thing. So if you ever come here, just be prepared for that. So this big cart has got this wheel, like extra tire, chained to it.
It's cool.
Hands on it when it slides down a hill and kind of like surfs the cart down the hill. I guess it's also, you know, a brake, but still interesting to watch.
Okay, I am a little tipsy right now, so we'll see how well we can do this video. We have met this...
Did we do this on the same day we went to this church? This would have been the weirdest day of our lives if this all happened all at the same time.
Might have been the same day.
This guy named Eric. We were just sitting in our hotel, and he came in and asked for a room. And Eric and I both noticed this guy looks roughed the fuck up. And hopefully we can insert a picture here. Basically, he has told us that he got mugged in Eilat a few days ago, and
Explain the mugging.
He explained that he was just lying on his pack, like taking a nap, waiting for his bus to Jerusalem, and he got jumped by 2 guys, and then 4 guys entered the mix, and he fought as much as he could, but they ended up having him in the fetal position, and so on. They took his bag. He still has his passport, but he doesn't have any money except for what his parents have wired him, and yeah,
so we were sitting in the hotel, like in the common area of our hotel, because we were staying in a dorm.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have our own room. So we were just sitting in the common room, just like chilling for a few minutes. And this guy just comes strumbling in, and he looked like what he looked like in the picture. His clothes were all tore up, and he didn't have any bag, no identification or anything. And he was like talking with the guy, needed a place to stay, blah, blah,
and
blah,
I
blah.
remember their conversation was not super
the guy
easy.
was trying
there
to
was
get
something.
The guy was trying to get rid of him, but for some reason, in the end, let him stay. And I don't remember why, but it was like everybody in the room was like, "This guy looks like insane. He looked crazy. Like he looked like a crazy person, literally." But he wasn't. I don't know if I believe him. Who the fuck knows what had happened to him beforehand? But he was chill to us.
I don't know if I believe his story, but I believe his character of what he showed me. Like,
yeah.
I do believe that I could see him getting in a fight.
Yes.
For other reasons.
Yes.
And I could see him possibly lying about the reasons as to why he ended up the way he was. But for the existence that we had as friends, it was, I don't care.
Yeah, it was fine. Anyway, so like he just sat down and started talking to us. So we ended up hanging out with him like the rest of the day and into the night.
And I think I was just
like the weirdest. This is never going to come off on video, but it was just like this like fever dream of the whole experience of hanging out with this guy was like a fever dream.
And I remember when he sat down, I was just like, well, if he sat down, I'm going to fucking ask him, what's wrong with you? I was just like, oh my God, you know, and I know. So we're going down this road right now.
And he had lived in Israel for a while. So he understood things that he could show us things. And he was like, oh, I'll show you around like some stuff. He like knew stuff and we didn't obviously know jack shit.
Anyways, he talked to us while we were sitting at the hotel. We got to know about the mugging. We got to know a little bit about the guy, and he asked us if we wanted to go and get some food with him. So we decided, fuck it, let's go get some food with this guy. He's very, like, the only word I can think of to put on it is jovial. Like, it kind of seems like the world has hit him in the fucking face and he is okay. Like, he's just laughing and having a good time and trying to make the best out of a shitty situation that he can. And
I wonder if he was on some sort of emotional high from having like survived and like just like, okay, you know what I mean? Like some weird psychological thing or whatever had happened.
Some people's entire lives are fever dreams.
It seemed like this was one of those people, to be honest with you.
So we went out to eat with him. We ended up going to the Wailing Wall, and he told me some things about Jerusalem while we were there. He's actually lived in Jerusalem for a year and a half prior to us meeting. What? We're making a video, so thanks. I don't know what that was about. Anyways, so all in all, he's kind of drug us around town a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. From where we were eating, he took us to like a prayer meeting that he wanted to go to, and now we are sitting outside of Moshiko.
Got in a fight with a taxi driver.
Yeah, we got in a fight with a taxi driver. Not really a fight, just they talk really aggressively here. We're sitting outside of Moshiko. He managed to get some food from some girl that randomly, completely random, walked up and asked him. She was just like, I feel like I need to get you some food. He looks really roughed up, as you will see from the picture if we're able to put it in there. He made us some vodka shakes with the money that he got from his parents. Okay, so we've had some vodka shakes. We recently just talked to a Jewish doctor, and the doctor like answered some questions for him about.
I'm wearing the doctor's hat.
Yeah. Oh no, you're wearing Eric's hat.
I'm wearing Eric's hat.
I think. I don't know.
It's either Eric or the doctor.
The doctor. This guy was like I don't want to come off crude, but he was like comically Jewish. Like it was like it was like like it was like the way he talked and everything was like a stereotype. It was like a really old dude, and he just had this like really strong accent and stuff, and his behavior and everything. He was cool. It was just like it was just another one of these things. I can't believe this is happening right now. This is. It
was weird. Like it's almost like that guy's life just attracted things.
Yeah.
I feel like my life does not attract things. Like I can just wander around and nothing will happen.
And that girl like just gave him food for free.
Yeah, and we watched
something
that shit
else
happen.
happened too.
Something else did
I don't
happen.
remember.
Yeah.
Chloral, and also answered some questions about.
I remember some music happening during this time as well.
There were people. Yeah, there were.
Like how his face was looking, and asked him about his urine and his feces and stuff.
The doctor.
Taking the doctor out, he looked at his eyes. His eyes are like completely bloodshot. Like these guys fucked this guy up. But anyways, the doctor was really, really nice. He's retired and everything. So him and the doctor have gone off to have a beer on Eric's dime. Not this Eric, not our Eric, but Eric, our friend Eric. It's very confusing, but it's been a pretty entertaining. Like maybe, I guess we made him 4 hours ago. So. Interesting, and maybe we'll have more to update after this, but we'll find out. I'm hoping that more vodka shakes make their way into the mix.
So the doctor that we randomly met that was looking at other Eric was also like the same girl that bought other Eric a free meal, bought this doctor a free meal, and the doctor has recently just lost his ATM card, so he didn't have any money, so it was really nice for him to be able to get some food from this girl, this randomly, who's offering free food to people that just happen to need it. And I mean, it's strange because like we got this doctor that has no money because he lost a credit card, and like I guess we may not have explained this in the video, maybe we did, but we've lost a wallet recently, and then other Eric, of course, has had the worst of it, and he got beat up by 4 guys. So it's strange that like it seems like bad things are happening to everybody we meet, but at the same time, good things are happening all at the same time. So.
I hope the Korean people survived.
A little bit of equalizing karma is taking place or something. It's a strange night. So this is kind of what New Jerusalem looks at night, I guess. I'm not really 100% sure where we're at, but I think this is kind of like hipster central, where there's a lot of like, youths and ice cream and old doctors getting meals from random Israeli girls. And Katie and other Eric are trying to use his phone card to call his parents and tell them that he's alive.
That's him. Yeah,
That was his hat.
He's looking all right. It's a little dark. So is it going all right with the phone card? No good?
She's going to try it.
She's going to try it. So this is...
You've seen me try to do phones. I succeed. I try all the ways.
Old City looks like at the moment at nighttime, like everything's closed down.
So late at night, the Old City is amazing to walk around in. Like it's astonishing. Like there's no tourists basically in it because it's such a huge contrast compared to what the Old City looked like during the day. It makes it just like a magical place to go walk around.
I have to say that I could also see it as being a scary place. There's little nooks and crannies in there.
Yeah, people
and
could hide
just
and
get
stuff.
drug away.
Yeah, you could.
Like straight up.
And it's calm and nice and everything's all right.
He talked quite a bit. I think that just a camera back, especially back then, like what the hell is this guy doing with a camera? I think is probably what he was going through his head.
Make a video?
Make video.
I'm making a video.
We are in
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem. We're surrounded by misogynist pigs, but we don't care.
No.
We're okay with it. We're securing ourselves.
Yes.
It's all right.
Bye, Shorty.
Oh, I think somebody must have called me Shorty.
We went back to our hotel, made sure other Eric had a bottle of water, and then we went to bed. When we woke up in the morning, he had gotten in an argument with the hotel manager over money and they had asked him to leave. We didn't hear from him again until 72 days later when he messaged me on Facebook. He was back in North Carolina and he was doing fine living with his family. We both agree he was one of the most fascinating people we met on our entire trip. It was an amazingly strange night.
It was fun. And I kept tabs on him for a little while. He got married to a woman. I don't remember what they did. I feel like they're not married anymore, but I haven't talked to him probably since we came to Japan. I might have talked to him a little bit at the beginning here, but yeah.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was like something else I think that
the person he got married to, his name is Katie. And he's Eric.
Was it really? Her name was Katie as well?
I think so.
Not spelled the same, of course.
Oh, well, I guess they could just be asking out of curiosity because of the Katie and Eric thing. But why do I think that? What's this motherfucker's name?
I don't know. I don't
Eric.
remember. Eric is all we got. So something else that was also going on, like mentally for us, we were like finishing this trip. We knew we were going home like within a week or something of this time. And we were kind of just like in a mindset where we were just like, it was kind of like at the beginning of the trip, we were like stepping off this cliff and going to do this thing. But now we were getting to a point where it was like, okay, we've come to another cliff and we don't have any idea what's on the other side. Like this, we're coming to another door or whatever. We don't know what's going to happen now. So there was a bit of this, like, there was like I don't know, butterflies or something. Like there's an emotional component of our mindset at this stage, because it wasn't like we were just going to keep going. Like we were stepping into an unknown from this year and a half of unknowns that have been transpiring through the entire trip.
You think his last name was Miller?
I don't know, but I wouldn't start saying his last name out loud. I don't think so, though. I'd have to see a picture of him.
I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
Sorry. Eric, why does it say Tel Aviv Yafo?
I don't know what the Yafo means.
I don't either.
All right. We've got another episode. You have to go to the bathroom?
No.
Okay. More Jerusalem.
Dun, 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 dun.
Which was a cool place to stay because it gave us access to the city at night. I'm very happy we stayed where we stayed. I think the shower was gross though. Seem to remember.
I think it had some of the best wall art ever.
Oh yeah, there was some.
So creepy. We got no bonks and no views.
Oh. I forgot. I switched the scene and I always forget to switch it back. Boop. I'll back it up.
So we're staying in a dorm.
A vodka shake is like a slushie from 7-Eleven, that kind of slushie.
And then just
With
put
vodka.
in that
Room in a hostel, basically dead center in the middle of the old city in Jerusalem. And this is what it looks like. And it's kind of strange because you kind of feel like you're going into a cave. And I don't fit standing here. Like the weight of this, I don't know, it looks really weird, but like, that's it. I have to crouch over to get up these stairs. And these little kids run the place.
Oh yeah, the little kids. And they want to shake your hand.
And we are staying in this dorm room, and I think there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 beds in here. But look at it. It's like a cave. Like literally. And this is where we're sleeping. And I'm up top. And it's a bit like being in a prison and a bit like being in a cave, but it's actually pretty clean in here, so it's not too bad. And you have this hole here that goes outside. I don't know why. Sometimes it leaks water. Like there was a big puddle and a dead cockroach right there this morning. Whatever. The bathrooms are nice and it's a decent place. It's a little overpriced. These 2 beds are costing us $30 like total for both of them. A little less than that, but it's a little bit of a kick in the pants. Oh well. Okay, so this is the west wall, and it is basically what is supposedly the remains of the second temple. and that makes it very important to the Jewish population. And it's very, very common. Right now, there's not very many people here, but it's kind of late at night. But I mean, we've seen huge crowds here of people here just praying, and they come and they kind of like sometimes they kiss or they lean against the wall and they pray. And apparently, there's a specific verse that they like to repeat that has something to do with it. But of course, I have no idea. And this is actually kind of importance as well to Muslims, but you never see anybody here. Apparently, Muhammad tethered his winged horse here, I'm assuming before he ascended to heaven, which was supposedly very near here. So I'm not 100% sure of the story on that either, but it's a very important place for a lot of people, so it's an interesting thing to see. And you can see that it's separated in sexes. Men are over here, there's a wall over here, and the women go over there. And they have just stands so people can come and read religious texts, and they can just sit back. And it seems to be sort of a social thing to a certain degree, where people will sit and they will be just chatting and meeting and things like that. So it's an interesting thing. And again, it's inside of Old Jerusalem, and it is you just see a lot of Jewish people walking towards it constantly.
I don't understand the temple part to it. Or are you on the inside of the temple?
I think you're on the outside of it. Because like you know the mosque that's on top of the Dome of Rock area that you could see, like the dome that was back there and stuff. Yeah. I think that's where the temple was. It was like the outer wall. I think. So then like the temple would be over where the mosque is now.
See, this is where they tend to congregate. But it's cool to see it, and it is apparently open 24 hours a day. So if you want to come here in the middle of the night, get you some West Wall prayers in, no problemo. Something instantly noticeable in Israel is how many different...
The actual temple isn't at this location. This used to be a Roman fort. Ah, interesting.
Police forces and military forces and things there are. Like there's so many different uniforms and so many people, and as you can see, this guy here it's actually two guys that are riding this BMW motorcycle, and they both have like assault rifle, machine gun type things, or at least one does, the guy in the back did. And I mean, you see a lot of really weird things. Like you'll see like girls that look like they're 18 with like, you know, these assault rifles. I'll put a picture of one in right here if I remember. And you see a lot of, I mean, this is a lot of security.
How would I not remember? Say, I'll put a picture if I remember. Well, I just said it. I'm watching the video when I edit it.
Maybe at that time you didn't know. You didn't think about how it was going to remind you.
I mean, it was expected, but it's just bizarre. I didn't realize that it was this. I mean, it's like police forces and so many different branches or something. I mean, there's so many different uniforms. It's really bizarre. This is, again, kind of like the new area of the city, and it's just kind of like European feeling, and there are just people like street performers, but not like, you know, there's beggars, but not a lot of them. But like this guy's actually got a skill. Playing this like folk guitar style thing. I don't even know what it is. I'm sure it's some sort of Middle Eastern instrument or something. Anyways. I just want to note the security force stuff. It's really strange. The other thing, you see a lot of them are in plain clothes. Like when at the border crossing, you come in, it's just like a guy. He looks like he's like 12. I mean, of course, it's like 18 or something, but and he's in like, you know, his street clothes, and he's got, you know, an assault rifle. It's really strange. Okay, so this situation is pretty funny. This guy here is really, really unbelievable at his instrument. He's been here for quite some time. And about 10-15 minutes ago, this lady came over here and set up, and she's got a harp and a guitar and this obnoxious flute she's really bad at. I mean, it sounds like a third grader playing a recorder, and like he sounds like, you know, essentially a classically trained musician, and she's just playing over him. Like she just sat down and set up, and when she was playing the harp, it was all really, really, really distorted and sounded awful, and she kept turning it up and made it worse. And he is like kind of like been making remarks to her, like, how about you give me until 8 o'clock or whatever? And she was like, okay. And then she just started playing again. And he is starting to play more and more aggressive. You can just tell he's pissed off. The whole thing's pretty funny. She really is just an awful musician too. She has broken out the ukulele and started up the Home on the Range.
I just remember this guy stink eyeing her hard, man. Like, what are you doing, lady?
So here's an odd one. I've been walking around tonight without Katie because she's just hanging out back of the room. And I mean, everybody always tells me I look Jewish, and I'm not really convinced. But every time I talk to somebody who is, they speak to me directly in Hebrew, even though they speak English. So they just assume that I'm, fluent. And I'm just always like, I don't know what you're talking about. I think if I had my beard grown out, I'd probably just be sweating.
No, you don't grow the beard out. You grow the curls, son. You gotta grow the curls.
That sounds offensive.
I like when people think you're something. It's
People,
exciting to me.
it is.
I don't know what you are, and I like when people are so convinced that they know, they just treat you in a particular way.
When we were in Vietnam, all these Russian tourists were there, and these people just come up to me and start speaking to me in Russian. Like, I remember at one point, like, a woman was speaking to me or something, and then you came up and saddled up next to me, like, walked up, and she, like, immediately clicked. She was like, oh, this guy doesn't speak any Russian. Like, she saw you and realized I don't speak Russian.
I gotta grow out your piles.
So I'm on the outside of the old city, just barely, like it's right up there. I guess you can't see the wall where I'm standing, but anyways, here we go, it's right there. But look at all these tour groups. I mean, this is madness. All these people get like pumped into the old city and they get drug around and shown a few things, and they make it a big pain in the ass to walk around because they're in these massive groups. So if they stop, it's just like everything is like completely blocked up in there. It's nuts. I mean, talk about super, super touristy stuff. Lots of package tourists, obviously.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made that tourists aren't necessarily a nuisance, but tour groups are a nuisance just because they're in giant packs acting
Dominant.
in sequence with one another. And then, they become dominant because they're in a bigger group than everybody else or whatever.
Once there's like 3 or 4 of my friends, we own everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the buses, like you can see traffic is stopped like from the top of this hill all down here. Traffic is just like completely gridlocked because all these buses letting all these people out. So I think if I was a local, I'd be pretty annoyed with it. Okay, so I'm hiking up the Mount of Olives. As you can see, there's the Dome of the Rock, and that is the old city, and this is basically, from what I'm reading, a Jewish cemetery. And there's like 150,000 people buried here, at least. It's kind of a rough estimate because some of these graves have been here a very, very, very long time. It says that between 1948 and 1967, this whole area was under Jordanian rule, and during that time, the Jordanian king like approved like construction projects and stuff in this area that destroyed a lot of the graves. And wonder if that has a little bit to do with the ambition that the Israelis had to take this land back, just because of the desecration of all the funerary areas. So I'm gonna hike up there, and you can see there's a massive tour group up here, and they probably have a pretty good view of the city. So I'm gonna see what that's all about, and on the way I'm gonna hang out with a whole bunch of dead Jews.
Jesus Christ.
It's on the internet right now.
Why did I say that? What the fuck?
Okay.
3 peaks of the Mount of Olives, or whatever it's called. And this is
this mean?
Jewish cemetery,
Big shock face.
down the hill. I mean, it's quite a large area it covers. And if you look
Got
across
canceled
here,
by
this
broccoli.
is a Muslim cemetery on the other side of the street, and that's a little closer to the walls of the old city, and you can see the walls of the old city kind of running along this way.
I was fine with it.
Area, like I said,
That's some shit that would have slipped out of my mouth to make you laugh. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
and you can see the Temple of the Dome of the Temple of the Rock, or whatever it's called. And it sticks out, and it's
This is a great view, though.
like recognizable feature of the city aside from the shape of it itself. And like I said in the past, the city is broken into 4 pieces, 4 quarters, and it's difficult to explain from up here. But I think what's closest to us, kind of this direction, is the Jewish quarter, and then over this direction is the Muslim quarter. The far corner over there is the Christian quarter, and the far back corner this way is the Armenian quarter. So it gives you, I mean, it's kind of a rough outline of where things are. Sometimes you can tell when you cross over from one area to the other, but sometimes it's kind of difficult to kind of look a little bit the same, or maybe I don't know what I'm looking at. But and then you can see the rest of Jerusalem. It expands outside of the old city, which is quite a big city. It goes out around it and out on the hills and stuff. There's stuff behind this on the other side is like the new city, where like all the posh hip stuff is. I go there at nighttime and just people watch. So gives you kind of an idea of what everything looks like. And I imagine 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, when this was a hip happening place, it looked a lot different. So
I don't think I wouldn't say I was trying to be edgy. I think I don't know. Was that me trying to be cool and edgy?
I don't know. It's just kind of funny. There's a lot of dead Jews there.
I mean, it's a factual statement.
Yeah, it's a fact.
It just sounds really bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's trying to be edgy. I think it's just stating shit that you shouldn't say. Is that what being edgy is? I don't know.
I don't know.
I just read in my book that where I'm sitting, this area, is where God will redeem the dead on the day of judgment when the Messiah returns. So,
is that why they're burying everybody there?
He's going to have a lot of tourists to elbow his way to the crowd. Him and all the zombies are going to have a hell of a time. I hope they get better transportation than the buses and the gridlock traffic, because it could delay things a bit, and you'd hate to have your day of judgment delayed. That'd be a pain in the ass. So it is interesting to sit here and think about that belief, though. It's a good view, but I don't know if it's that good. I'm now standing directly below the city, facing the opposite direction I was facing in the previous videos. And I was sitting up there before, looking this direction, so the city is behind me. And as you can see, this is the Jewish cemetery. And there's a whole big area, and they are doing excavations, it looks like. And I didn't realize that there were things like this in this area, like almost Petra-esque looking, like things built into the walls. And maybe they're excavating those, and I really don't think my guidebook says anything about them, so I don't know what they are, but they look really old, and I'm sure they're of some sort of importance to somebody. You can also see...
What are you trying to get into?
None of your business.
So you're trying to get into my email.
Yeah?
The fuck are you doing?
I'm busy over here. Invading.
Underneath the graveyard, there's like a cave over here, which is kind of interesting as well. And up on the Mount of Olives, which is this whole region over here, there's like a lot of churches, and I went looking for a couple of them, and it's really steep. So as I didn't find them on the way down, I decided I'm never going to go back up there because of the hike. And that's that. So no churches for me on the Mount of Olives, but you can see a couple of them are kind of neat looking. That almost looks like a Russian Orthodox church or something, but the tops are gold instead of colorful. And it looks pretty interesting. I wish I could have figured out how to get in, but I believe it's closed right now. And then there's one over here, and they've got like a giant mural essentially, but I think it's made of stone on the front. And maybe it's painted, maybe it's made of stone. I don't know, I can't see it that well. And again, there's a bunch of them over here, and like apparently one of these churches is on the site where Jesus ascended to heaven, but I don't understand this stuff, because I thought he died and was resurrected like in the old city, and it wasn't the old city then, but they expanded the walls, and I don't know. This whole area is definitely seems like nobody can get a straight answer out of exactly where they think things actually happen. So if you ask one guy, you get a different answer from another guy. So take it all for what it's worth, I suppose.
Sophia, thanks for the follow.
This is the Pillar of Absalom.
Are you in the postcard club? Because your name looks really familiar. That's what I was trying to look up.
Oh.
But I couldn't switch accounts to the Katie and Eric account, so I couldn't check. And I was waiting for a pause, and now I'm just making you shut up so I can ask my question.
Sophia probably can't reply because they just started the follow, and because today I set it to follower only, but it's follower only from like 24 hours from when they signed up.
Oh, so
because
they can't access this.
Yeah, nobody can type. This is not usual, by the way, if anybody is watching. Like, I don't usually have follower only. I'm only doing this because of the content that we're watching today.
Oh, you mean you badgering the Jews?
Yeah. Oh, I just didn't want it because of what's going on there now. I didn't want to deal with people coming in and yelling at us about things that were unrelated to what was going on. So, but yeah, the follower only thing is not usual.
And it is the tomb of King David's son. So it's from the 1st century. So that's a really old pillar. And I'm assuming that's what this is. I don't have any idea what this is. Perhaps it's just a conjoined effort or something. But kind of interesting. I mean, kind of. This is again right outside of the walls.
Yeah, this is just actually totally coincidental that we're watching this stuff now.
And war broke out.
We've been doing this this is episode 50 whatever.
Are you sure they weren't waiting for us
51?
to get to us
hope not.
watching us of this episode? Like Hamas was just waiting.
Maybe. Yeah, we've been doing this for like 51 weeks. It just happened to line up right after that. All this fighting started now. So
it's like old city outside, and it looks like they're doing excavations or something. Like it's really
the city.
Like me. And not very often you see a construction site that's covered like this. So I think
cool.
that might be a part of it.
Literally.
And I mean, I hate to say it, but like with all of the horrible things that take place in the name of this area, there are some pretty gorgeous things. Like, it's pretty cool just walking around the outside of this and just looking at this, knowing what it is. By request of Jean, I believe this is the Dung Gate.
that's her mom.
This is an example of gridlock because of these groups of tourists. There's like a million of them all in one place. Oy. Okay, so I think we're in St. Anne's Church, but it's just like a hallway. And then the Pool of Bethesda, I don't even know what this is back over there. But they want $2 for me to go back there and look at their Pool of Bethesda. And I'd rather have my $2. So
gotta buy some gooey.
What makes this interesting is this is the Via Dolorosa or something. This is
called
where it begins. So apparently this is like where Jesus had to carry his cross from here to where he was crucified or condemned or however you want to put it. So that's supposed to be interesting. And like lots of times people will come and bring like a life-size cross and like carry it along the same path. That's like, you know, a thing people do, like a pilgrimage type thing. So that all starts right here, but there really isn't a whole lot to see, to be honest with you, without that $2, and they're not getting it.
This is just our mood at this point during this trip. Like, it's just like leaking out of us at this point.
Katie has swindled our way in for free somehow. She flashed her pretty eyes at the guard. And here we are. So this is actually St. Anne's Church.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
This is where
Making friends.
the Virgin Mary's parents lived in this area. And so this is where she was knocked up by God. Let's check it out. This is the actual church. The acoustics are supposed to be really good in here. Oh, wow.
No click? How am I supposed to know about the acoustics? How much gumi you think's in that bag? $2 worth for sure.
The reverb in here is bananas.
Eating gumi in the church?
Comes down here and there's a sign up there that says this is our mother's or Our Lady's birthplace. So maybe this is where they think that the Virgin Mary was born. I don't know, the whole building's pretty neat though. Nativity of Our Lady.
This is more like
Sign her yearbook. She's gonna say, "It's been a good year. Keep in touch. Call me over the summer."
I talking about?
Eric's having a saucy day.
Oh yeah, cool. I'm glad I got video of it.
With the cross. You can see that it's a large group of people. And they have a full-size cross, and they'll carry it all the way over to the whole Church of the Holy.
It doesn't seem like a full-size cross.
Sepulchre. What's it called? Church of the Holy what?
Sepulcher.
Sepulchre.
No, didn't get it.
Stop here. I don't know. Apparently, there's markers that explain like stories about Jesus' life along the route, but I haven't looked at any of them yet, so I can't verify. So here's a couple of like Israeli security force members, and they've just been standing here doing their thing and checking out girls and that type of thing. And as you can see, they've got, you know, assault rifles. And a few minutes ago, a guy was just walking down the street. I mean, like 1,000 people have walked by since we've been sitting here easily. And a guy walking down the street was just like, the guy stepped out in front of him and was like, stop. And he was like, you know, he asked him for his ID. And he checked the guy's ID, and the guy was the fellow they stopped was a Palestinian. I saw his Palestinian ID card, and they just questioned him for a couple minutes and then left. So I mean, it's just crazy. Like, no wonder these people are pissed off. Like, you're just walking down the road, and all of a sudden you gotta get interrogated by a man with an assault rifle. Another note: whenever you see any Israeli security force, police or military or anything, they are always in groups of two. Like, always. You never see just like a cop walking on the street.
Like Mormon missionaries.
Even on motorcycles, they had two people to a motorcycle. So I mean, I guess it's, you know, watch each other's back type of thing. So this is the kind of the residential-ish area of the Jewish quarter. As you can see, it's a lot more calm and just like, it's a lot newer. It was all destroyed in 1948, and I don't think they started rebuilding it until like 1967, 1968. So it's all pretty new comparatively. And there's a synagogue up here that is pretty cool looking. And ta-da! Here it is. So that's a pretty cool find. We've just been kind of lost, and we just came across this. And it says it is the can't read it. Maramban synagogue.
Cool. It was really, it sticks out in my head how different each one of the areas felt. It's like I said earlier, like sometimes when you will cross from one quarter to the other, it immediately feels completely different. But sometimes there was a bit of a blend that would happen. It would kind of depend on where you were.
Okay, so we just went through security to get to the Temple Mount or Dome of the Rock, whatever you want to call it. And now we're walking through this thing, and I feel like I'm going to get on one of those wooden roller coasters at King's Dominion.
There's going to be a train at the end of this.
A train? Like you're in India?
No, like we're in the Holocaust.
Oh. There is a lot of security in here already. We probably walked past 10, 11 security guards in the last 2 minutes, and I can see a couple more in the compound. So see a lot of assault rifles.
This, my friends, the Dome of the Rock.
It's pretty stunning looking.
We weren't sure whether we'd be able to get in, but after a 15-minute wait, we are in. We win. We were reading while we were waiting that King Hussein, which is the king of Jordan, sold one of his houses in London to help refurbish the gold topping here for the dome.
It's like $7 million.
8, I think. Yeah, $8 million. It's one beautiful dome, baby.
Okay, so what is this? That's the question everybody has in mind, right? It is a very religious and holy place for both Muslims and Jewish people. And the Muslims, basically, there's a slab under there, underneath this building, and we're not allowed to go inside, but it's just a slab of rock, and it's apparently where they believe that Muhammad ascended to heaven. And I'm not really clear on why this is such an important place for Jewish people. That one's a little in the air for me, but I think it has something to do with it being like kind of the meeting place between heaven and earth for people, for like your soul or something, but I'm not, don't write home about that. I do know that the slab of rock that apparently Muhammad ascended to heaven off of, or nearby, or whatever, it's got a hole in it, and some people call it the pierce stone, and it goes down into like some sort of like catacomb type structure, but I don't know the significance of any of that or anything either. You can tell I've done a lot of research, but I've read a lot lately the last few days, and it is just like about so many different religion things that it's just beginning to all like meld together in my mind. So if you want to know more about it, just Wikipedia it. But it looks like a mosque, but it's not a mosque. And I believe that this little thing here is a mosque. So this is just considered just like it's a place for pilgrims to be able to come and go inside and get out of the weather, and just for them to come celebrate being Muslim, not actually for prayer. I'm not sure if people use it for prayer now, but that was the original intention. And
we weren't allowed to go inside.
Yeah, and if I recall, Jewish people weren't allowed to even go where we went. Like, it was like you had to be non-secular or Muslim to go where we went, or part of the security force at the time.
It is according to Wikipedia, oldest Muslim building in the world. It was built in, I think, 681. So, I mean, that's not too long after Muhammad left off that rock. So, it is really old, and apparently it's older than even the stuff in Mecca, which I kind of found interesting, but hey, what do I know about Islamic history? So that's it, and it is very iconic, and you can see it from like everywhere around on the Mount of Olives and everything around. So it's just like the iconic spot of Jerusalem as far as things, you know, I mean, it looks really flashy and it really sticks out. So that's what people think of when they think of the city to a certain degree. So we're basically in like one of the most controversial sites in the world. And I mean, to the point of violently controversial. And right off over this little ledge right here, every couple of minutes, you can hear the very distinct sound of a gunshot going off, and it just ricochets through all the hills. So that's very comforting.
We were watching the news just yesterday, and it was showing like that there were some conflicts between Israeli forces and worshippers.
Yeah, that happened a while ago.
There?
Yeah, it was up. I don't know what you're referring to, but recently there have been some conflicts in that area. Yeah.
All right, so down here is apparently where the Virgin Mary lived and then died. And somewhere on this site where this church is now built, there's also where...
Why are they bad? Like, why does he say because they're bad guards? You can make sure that the friend knows the time period too. Maybe rules have changed or something.
I guess the Last Supper was supposed to have been had, and they've got a cafeteria, so maybe we'll have some food. But these people just broke into song. So let's check this out. They started singing as soon as Katie came down, so maybe they're singing to her.
Yeah, you have to go inside the building to see the stone, I guess. I see. I remember this being kind of awkward. Like feeling uncomfortable. I don't remember why I felt that way. Maybe I'll say.
So we went inside the Dormition Abbey here, and the cafeteria is a bust. Like, they have Snickers bars, but they're like $3. So you want to have...
I'm not giving them my $3. I'm not getting those Snickers bars.
You know how many gummy that is?
How many gummy that is?
You're gonna need to bring a chunk of change, is all I'm saying.
Like where they had the Last Supper, they're selling Snickers.
The man in the Scirocco does not like the boy on the donkey. In case you're wondering, the Armenian...
That's going to be the only time that sentence is ever been spoken.
The Armenian quarter doesn't really stick out as any different than the Jewish quarter. And to the point of where I think I'm in the Jewish quarter now, but I'm not even sure. So, I mean, it exists apparently in theory, but I couldn't look at it and tell the difference. So here's the old city for reference, and they're building a electric train system that goes from the old city to the new city. And I'm not sure where else it goes, but if you want to go from the old city, you walk out the Damascus Gate and follow the tracks, and you are in the heart of the new city. And it'll be kind of nice, I think, because then I wouldn't have to walk up this hill, but it doesn't seem like that big of a hindrance to walk up the hill. So if it's cheap, if it's like a shekel or something to get on it and ride it, it's probably something I would do. If it's
How much is a
like
shekel?
5 shekels or 6.5 or whatever they charge for the bus, I'd just walk. So it'll be useful if it's priced right, but just thought I'd point it out.
I'm wearing those headphones wrong.
I think you might be. You look weird.
Hey Gene, if you're interested in the camel ride, you can come here and do it too. You don't got to go all the way to Jordan.
She did go there and ride a camel, didn't she?
She went somewhere and rode a camel.
All right. I don't know what's going on. Oh, you know what it is? It's all that lemonade. I have to go to the bathroom again. So.
Oh man, I don't have anything to say.
I don't know. Just, I was the most offensive person tonight, which is rare. Usually it's you.
There was just more you on the video, but then again, I think I mainly say inappropriate things just to you. Maybe. Oh man. Well, that was a good time. There's a background story in this that I don't know if we're going to explain, but it involves the timeline as to when we went home. But I worry that that's going to be in a future video, so I probably won't talk about that now. But yeah, Jerusalem was interesting, and there's part of me that definitely thinks I could go back to it, to see more of it, to re-experience that meld of religions all sitting together, and me thinking, that's not good. So... I didn't understand that. That's okay. Yeah. So I think I might appreciate it more going back to it now. I appreciate it? I don't know. I'd have a wider view of the world if I went back. And I guess that would allow me to appreciate it more. Not sure if that's the right word to say, but yeah. At that time, I think we were both really tired, and that diminishes how much you can appreciate something. So I have a more global view, a wider global understanding, and I also feel like I'd have more energy to give to it. I don't want to go back right now. Good point, Connor. Yeah, I was actually looking at the Gaza area of the map, and I really feel like they should be putting a warning to like people who might walk into that area, like no go. You know, because sometimes on the Google Maps in Japan, if there's like a marathon in an area, it'll have like a little icon that says like don't go there. Like maybe they need to put an icon up that says war zone.
I don't know. You're gonna ask how we got to where we got. You want another dongle?
No, I want some different food. I'm shocked you still have any of those left. But I think it's because they're not normal fruity flavor.
Yeah, this isn't the kind of... they're good.
Yeah, they're good.
They're really good. Okay, let's check out some pictures. So that's the last of the videos that we're going to do.
You don't need this.
For tonight. But tomorrow we will have next week, we will have another episode from Jerusalem, and then we go into the West Bank for a day trip during that episode, and then we will be watching, I believe, the episode where we go home to America after the whole trip. So that'll be fun to see. Photos.
Burp. It's the best of the whatever we were calling those things.
Okay. cool view of the city.
Feels kind of Amman-esque, but less dense, less... It's still quite beige, but not beige enough.
Just like trucking it through the city. So sometimes I feel like during the day the city wasn't super packed. Maybe it was like weekends or something where it got really crazy. But there were times where it was like really packed, and then there were times where you could actually walk around. I don't know we weren't there long enough to like figure out what caused the flow. The difference in like the crowd surges. This was some of the art that was on the wall inside of our where we stayed, the guest house that we stayed. And it was just a little creepy because
yeah, it's just creepy.
This bear.
Yeah.
I remember being creeped out by this bear. But I guess like what's happening? She's like dreaming of Palestine. Is that what's going on?
I don't know.
Jordan, I'm not sure. That's the Sinai Peninsula, right? Yeah. And then that's Israel, and this is Lebanon and Syria. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think at one point we figured out what it said, but I don't remember at this point. And the famous
Ladder.
Oh wait, there's a natural zoom I got. Yeah, so yeah, at some point some dude like went on the other side of here and pulled the ladder inside, and then afterwards they put up this grate. So they're able to. But the point is like they're able to agree to put up a grate, but not to remove the ladder. It's like the ladder isn't. And
they're able to agree on the grate, but not like any safety precautions for those coming into the building. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all a little bit like.
Whoa! What a cool picture.
Oh, you want to use Google Translate? I guess I could do that too. Unless it's like written like artistically. Sometimes I don't know where my phone is.
Mine?
Somebody else can probably get to it before you do. It says freedom. Okay. Yeah, I think my interpretation is probably accurate. It's like dreaming.
I don't see why you think it's talking about Palestine.
The people that ran the people that ran the hotel were Palestinian.
But just based on the picture, it doesn't make me think it's about Palestine. Is there a specific spot on it that is making you think that?
You scanned it again. It says war, the war. Just a dreaming child and then a map of a region. I don't know.
Is Palestine more than...
Like, it's complicated. You're about to get
Gaza
into a very...
and the West Bank were made up of Palestinians that had been broken apart from each other. And...
the whole area was like Palestinian mandate or whatever. And it's this, you're opening a nest of complication.
Yeah. So you can see why I don't understand. Like, I don't even see that, like...
It says the liberty. Yeah, this is not a conversation I want to get into right now. Like, it's,
okay, that's fine.
It's just...
It's a great picture.
Okay. So anyway, this is inside of the Holy Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
Just above where we went in to...
Yeah, so that's...
watch the people
Jesus'
kiss the
tomb
stone.
is like... No, you can see Jesus' tomb at the bottom.
Yeah, I see it. But I'm saying, like, just below this dome is where that is.
Well, there were people kissing two stones. There were people kissing stones inside of Jesus' tomb, and then there was also the anointment stone or whatever that smelled like Smarties.
I wasn't thinking about the other one at all.
I assume that's what you were saying. I wonder if that scaffolding is permanent, or if it was there for some reason. I don't know. And that's where he was apparently crucified, according to the folks here.
What kind of, like, ornaments do you get for a crucifixion? Go back.
Those.
Like, what's
Look like
what's
scales.
appropriate for that? How do you decorate?
I don't know, man. I'm glad we've got guidance in case it comes up.
Yeah. When they come to crucify you, I'll know what to do afterwards.
Took a lot of pictures. There's a
I
ladder.
feel like crucifixion is a man's torture, not really a woman's torture.
Like a man
Like, I don't
would do
feel
that?
like somebody's going to come to crucify me. They definitely come to crucify you. They got to add like a couple feet to
They're
the
gonna
bottom
need a
of the
big cross,
cross,
yeah.
but yeah. And then there's your
Which
heaven.
which gumi do you want? Which one's your
Coke bottles
favorite?
look pretty good.
The Coke bottles
I
look
like
good?
the ones that like the worm. The worm's solid because I like to take the worm and then put it in my mouth and pull it out and then see how shiny it got.
I kinda like
and then
these-
I enjoy how shiny it
These
got.
kinds here, like it's gumi, and then it's got like the white base on it, and sometimes it's a bit of a different texture. I think that's kind of fun. These orange ones look fun too.
The sugary ones are okay. They're complicated to eat because they get your hands dirty.
Bottom left looks fun. Yeah, that looks like a little sandwich one. Oh, they do. They've got the vampire teeth. Like these shops were
They have
everywhere. It was so weird.
Everything that you could ever want.
Fried eggs are number one. Do they have the fried eggs?
Yeah, it's right there. It's below the
Oh,
pink rings
it's hiding.
and above the orange slices.
I don't know if we even got any of this while we were there, to be honest.
did.
Did we?
We did, Eric Klein.
Anyway, so this is that man that we met. Jesus. And he took us here and explained a bunch of the stuff to us at the time.
It's me with my vodka slushy.
Oh, that's the doctor.
There's the doctor.
Cool. We do. Oh, I see why you thought it was his hat.
Yeah.
Because he did have the same like flat cap type thing. Where do you think you got that balloon?
The fried egg just tastes like gumi. It's all the same gumi. I know that's not true.
Did we go to McDonald's? Like, where did you get a balloon?
I don't know. It was just that day.
It's
I
one of
love
my-
this picture.
This is one of my favorite pictures of the whole trip. And I actually, sometimes when I take these pictures and I bring them to show on Us Watching Us, I'll edit them a little bit to brighten them or something if I feel like they're dark. But I could fix this. I could change the white balance on it to make it look more natural. But I like the yellow. I like how it looks like shit. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the, I think it could be the last picture we have together from the entire trip until we got back to America because Jesse took a picture of us there. But I don't know. There's just something about this. Is like, I feel like it's like a moment like you and I have conquered something in a way together. Like it's like we did this big thing together, and it's like this is at the tail end of it. And something about this, and it's Eric. The other Eric took this photo.
And I think the distortion also characterizes how weird that day was.
Yeah, it does.
Like we know that day, where we were, how we felt in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, this picture means a lot.
That's Eric.
Other Eric. Do you remember we kept seeing this guy walk around? Multiple days we saw this guy walking around with his shorts like this. And I was just like, what does this guy do with his shorts? Maybe this is normal. I don't know. It seemed weird to me at the time. You know what's weird? It looks like they can change what those signs say. Why would that ever change?
Interesting.
Maybe it's like if they close it or something. Like it's closed,
There's
you
some
can't
sort
go.
of reroute, or
Yeah.
maybe it just says you can't get there, or the road's closed, or something.
Yeah.
What's on the other side?
Yeah, what can they do with that sign?
Go back.
Is it only the Bethlehem one that can change?
Yeah,
it
because
looks
you
like
can
it.
kind of see the box behind it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Something amusing about that. I don't know. It's just like this modernization of.
Religious garb.
Mm-hmm.
The tension.
This picture just like was lit really well. Like I was surprised that that camera at that time did so good with this lighting. And like, yeah, they close, like this is some of the area I think you can go through during certain times. They close it so you can't at other times, like at night, they close these big doors. I remember coming over here like multiple times, different nights, just to kind of just like, this actually had that laid back vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was peaceful to be there.
Yeah, it was very peaceful.
Just tour buses. I guess I got pretty close to that church.
I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, it was Arabic. Yeah, I think Crafty Z translated. I think he can read Arabic, so I think we have a reliable translation.
What was the translation? Liberty?
The Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no worries. Somebody was just asking about what that thing said. Yeah. Hold on a second here. There's a couple features here you don't often get. Let's look at these lips. What do we got here? He's got no chin. There's no pony.
This is standard Eric shit.
There's no like.
This is like, we gotta get in here.
There's no pony lip. Like they had that chin thing. You know what I mean? He's got nothing.
Yeah.
He's got nothing, but he's got this. This feature is good. The shape, like
It's
coming down here.
way better than the pony.
It's good whiskers.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can close the nose too. Like I think
Yeah.
he can shut off the nostrils in case it's like sand windy. And then the other thing I want to see is what about these guys up here? What do we got?
You made me draw a picture of a camel recently. You were like, just draw a camel from memory. Where did that picture go? It's really good.
I think it was on my phone. I think you drew it on my
I do
phone.
it with my finger.
Yeah, I think so.
But what
Yeah.
about the eyelashes, Eric? Because
Yeah, look at those little nubbers. He's pretty good looking. That's a good looking animal.
you're pleased with
Yeah.
how God decided to do with the camel.
He's weird looking, but he's good. I dig him. I'd like to know one's personality. Like, do they have good personalities when you're friends?
No, they spit on people and they seem agitated.
No, they spit. They spit on jerks. What if they're buddies? Does he see you? Would he not spit on a friend? No. That's what I want to know. Apparently, Australia has a lot of wild camels. Yeah, I think I've heard that too. This looks like a picture you would have taken.
Picture? Wait, you took it?
Yeah, you weren't there. They're nice. They don't spit. They're kind of like horses, but lazy.
But on the lazy side. The last path. That's daunting.
Day where it's just really crowded. Go to Percy. Here we have a lot of pictures.
I like this picture too.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
a mosaic on the wall, like it's made out of small stones.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
Looks painted.
Ouch. We're like tucked away in a really like
Quiet little corner.
of wherever. I think there is a mosaic in that place.
These are somebody said these were the bad in the chat. Somebody said these guys were bad soldiers. They're so young.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary. Pomegranates. We got pomegranates while we were there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a thing.
It might have been the first time we were introduced to them, which is kind of
No,
strange.
I had them when I was a kid.
Well, me.
Yeah. I used to get them with my aunt. She was in the pomegranates. Do the thing where you like break them up in the water. Yeah.
We got in trouble for touching.
Yeah, I think somebody.
While we were there.
Yeah, yelled at it because it's probably not acting appropriately.
Yeah, we were not acting appropriately.
Sometimes you fuck up.
It's cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and we did. I wonder if we didn't make any video about it. We went to the Holocaust Museum there. We must talk about it. It must be in the next episode.
I remember going, but I don't remember if
we talked about it. I don't think we filmed while we were there, but I have no recollection of what this is. It's a cool looking building.
A lot of interesting perspectives you can find in this area. Ooh.
Check out his feet. He's got like 6 of them or something.
What? I don't see any feet.
But you don't see the feet?
Just look like... Oh.
It's got 6 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them.
This artist. Bam. Wow, pushing boundaries.
Yeah, no fun and affection allowed at the holy place. Only shoving. The vibe up there was so much different. Obviously, it was like empty when we were there. Anyways, it wasn't even comparable. Yeah, what is this guy playing? It's like a luke or something, or a lute fish or something. That's like a food.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, he was really good at it. Looks like I think it's a pain in the ass to tune though. There's a lot of like street musicians and stuff.
Look at this picture.
What do you like about it?
It's got a warp to it, and it seems like it's been put into black and white, but it hasn't. I don't think you put any treatment on this.
No, I did. I boosted the brightness on it because it was really dark, and then I probably had to fuck around with the colors, and I probably overdid it. Like I sucked all the green and yellow and out of it.
I think it's cool.
Well, maybe not all the green, but these trees are dead. Like, I don't know what I did. I just fuddled around with it for a second to make it like understandable what you're looking at. I remember walking home from the old city or the new city to the old city and seeing this, just finding it to be interesting. That's the last photo. All right, so we are going to pick this up next week, and it will be the last episode of the international portion of the Round the World Trip series. And then we will be watching I think it'll be like 2 more weeks. We'll do like half of our America trip and then the other half of the America trip. And then that would be the point where we're probably coming to move to Japan. So I'm not sure where exactly we're going to end up taking a break, but we do think we'll take a break with us watching us. I don't know how long, and I don't know. We'll talk about it later. But anyway, so yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday, and we will be finishing the international stuff. And as far as the rest of the week streams go, I will be streaming definitely on Friday because Mario Wonder comes out, so I want to play that. And that'll be morning our time, so I'll go buy it and then come home. So probably maybe starting around 11 or so. And then I guess, I don't know, I have no idea what I'll do on Sunday. I plan on streaming on Sunday, but I don't know what's going on. And it's feasible, maybe if I'm in the mood, I might go for a scoot tomorrow night because you're not going to be here. So I figured I might go out for dinner. And if I do that, I might stream it, but I don't know yet. But it would be around this time tomorrow. That's it. That's the schedule update. Do you have anything else?
I'll be around for some of it.
For some of it? Oh yeah, you might be here for the Mario stuff. Let me see if there is anybody. I always do this and I'm just like, oh, I don't care about rating. I'm gonna click the fucking button.
I'm hungry.
It's really, I gotta click like 900 things to find the right button. There we go. I wish I could see. Can I see what he's up to? All right. Anyway, I'm just gonna end it as usual. Yeah, we'll do season 2. I don't know when we'll do it, but it'll, like, that season 2 stuff will be in Japan. But anyway, see you later, guys. Thanks for hanging out, getting through this, and
thanks for getting through.
Like, my crudeness in this video was kind of like, I have shocked myself. Anyway, see y'all later.
Good night.